And now we're at Grove Hill Cemetery, Dallas. Quite a huge cemetery. Right out this direction are the grave locations of Jim Lavelle, Detective Jim Lavelle, and Chief Jesse Curry. We're here today to visit the gravesite of the Lady in Red. The Lady in Red. If you follow the Kennedy assassination, you will know that that is Jean Hill. Jean Hill. Let's talk about first how she got the name Lady in Red. She had a red raincoat on the morning of November 22nd, 1963. And if you remember, Kennedy assassination people, that it was raining that morning and President Kennedy was in Fort Worth giving the breakfast speech. And afterwards, he walked out that side door and talked to the crowd that had gathered at that area. And you'll see the Fort Worth police officers, deputies, wearing the yellow raincoats, and people in the crowd too. But by the time the presidential party got to Dallas, it had stopped raining. The sun came out. It was a beautiful day, and the bubble top was removed. Now, we know the bubble top was not bulletproof, but had it been on, perhaps, well, two things. Perhaps Oswald, or the shooter, I should say, wouldn't have attempted to shoot the president. Or secondly, if the shooter did, perhaps the bullet could have been deflected. But anyway, the top was off, and they go through the motorcade. They're heading down to Dealey Plaza. So Jean Hill decides to keep the raincoat on for two reasons. She wanted her boyfriend, his name was B.J. Hill. Thanks my friend Matt for helping me with the name. And secondly, she wanted President Kennedy and Jacqueline Kennedy and Governor Connally to notice her, and Nellie Connally. That's why she kept it on. Now, Jean was the closest, physically, the closest civilian to President Kennedy when he was assassinated. She was within 21 feet of him. That morning, she meets with her friend Mary Ann Mormon. She really goes by the name Mary Ann. So they meet for breakfast, and then they go down to Dealey Plaza, and they find a really nice location so they can be noticed and get some pictures. We know that Mary Ann snapped a picture right at the third shot, the headshot. And this photo is used by conspiracy buffs. They enlarged that photo, and they believe there's a Dallas police officer within that picture, and they outlined that picture and they call him Badgeman. So again, that's a photo that Mary Ann took. Also within this photo, they claim there are some other individuals with the Dallas police officer. They outlined the Dallas police patch on the shoulder, and also the badge. That's how they came up with the name Badgeman. Now, Jean, she gave her testimony before the Warren Commission right after the assassination, 1964. She said she told the truth, as she believes it. She later claimed that her testimony was fabricated, changed by the Warren Commission. She always believed there was a conspiracy. Always. She also helped in the movie JFK. She was a consultant on that. After the assassination, for about 25 years, she wasn't very active. She shied away from interviews and, wanted to lay low because she said it pretty much ruined her life, in her words. She also claims that since she had conspiracy beliefs and saw some things, that she received death threats. Also claimed that somebody cut her brake lines on her car. Okay, here we are now. Jean Hill, February 11th, 1931, November 7th, 2000, the last dissenting witness, 11/22, 1963. That's the day President Kennedy was shot, and also Officer J.D. Tippit. She has the same birthday as I do, February 11th. Jean was a school teacher, and she had a burden for underprivileged kids. And I understand that she was a very good school teacher and had a big heart. I also know that she was a lifelong friend with Jim Lavelle. I know they would talk often on the phone, even though they're on the opposite side of the fence of each other. Jim Lavelle went to his grave believing Oswald shot Kennedy and Oswald shot J.D. Tippit. Oswald tried to shoot General Walker. He always believed that. And Jim also believed he had no help, acted alone. Jean's the opposite. She believed in the conspiracies. The Lady in Red. If you want to come here and pay your respects, you come into the main gate and go across this bridge right here. And you can park along the road or anywhere out here. I parked out here in that red rental car, and it took forever. This is a large cemetery, but I finally found her. And right here she is. You can come and pay your respects. A lot of people that follow the assassination just claim that some of her statements just weren't credible. For example, right after the shooting, she said that she saw a white individual exit the school book depository and run towards the railroad tracks, jump in a vehicle and take off. After the televised shooting of Lee Harvey Oswald, she noticed Jack Ruby looked exactly like that individual, so she claimed that the individual she saw was in fact Jack Ruby. However, it's been proven that Jack Ruby was at the Dallas Morning News placing ads for his clubs, the Carousel Club, at that moment of the assassination. Jean Hill's originally from Oklahoma, moved to Dallas when she married a fella by the name of Hill. They ended up divorced, had a couple of children. She remained in the Dallas area. Now, I found a picture of the Zapruder film, or one of the frames. This is Jean Hill here. Marianne Moorman snapping a picture at the moment of the third headshot. Lady in Red. Jean also wrote a book, The Last Dissenting Witness, 11/22/1963. This book came out in 1992, which I have. It's an interesting read, so I do recommend it. Well, I thought you'd like to know, and I'll see you at the top.